Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Running Code Humor in South Texas Law Enforcement. I'm your host, T-Bone. By my side and got my back, as always, my partner, J-Man. J-Man, how you doing?
Doing pretty good.
All right. Again, same amount of holes last time I saw you, so I like that. Nothing new, nothing extra. Don't see any bumps or bruises, so
Yep.
must be doing something right.
Something right.
Right. Is it how you talk to people? Because that has everything to do with it, honestly.
Kinda. I've been told that I'm yes, pretty very nice, reasonable.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
You get much further with honey than vinegar. I like vinegar because I like to fight because I'm Irish, but then I've learned over the years that just causes more problems. And now I try to take the honey route now. So, yeah, I kind of got all that piss and vinegar out of my system a long time ago. But, being Irish, they're not called the Fighting Irish for fun.
Oh, no, it's true.
If it wasn't for booze, the Irish would have taken over the planet. But neither here nor there. So, today what we're going to talk about is side jobs. Now, everybody's like, what the hell's a side job? For non-law enforcement or an EJ, an extra job. Cops are not paid massive amounts of money. We're not exactly rolling in the riches, and we're not doing this for money.
Yeah.
That's not what we do it. We do it because, one, we believe it matters. Two, someone has to do it. And three, it's a calling. It really is a calling. Now, some people do it forever, and some people do 4 years, 3 years, and go, hey, this ain't for me. Or some people do 35, 40 years. It's all depends. But what it all boils down to is none of us are going to be millionaires from being a cop at all. So we have to work what's called side jobs or EJs, extra jobs. So SJs, EJs, all mean the same thing. You are hired as a police officer to work a location for extra pay. Usually on the average is $50 an hour. Could be 60, could be 40. It just depends. The average is $50 an hour for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 8 hours, whatever the hell it is. Traffic gigs like you see on the highway, those officers in their personal vehicles are working EJs, side jobs. And they're getting paid $50, $60 an hour to close down a highway for the crews to work or whatever. Mm-hmm. And we want to talk about that today because some of it can be kind of funny. The shit you have to deal with on a part-time, because the whole rule of a part-time, it's called a part-time, a side job, or an EJ. Those are the three common terms. Is you're not supposed to work hard on your part-time.
Nope.
You're supposed to be Cadillacing.
Yep.
Problem is, it never works out that way.
It doesn't.
You end up dealing with crap, and you're like, really? Like you're doing a traffic gig, and some car pulls up and goes, sir, that guy just stole me, shot at me. And you're like, and you can't ignore it. You're in uniform. You're a police officer, so you have no choice.
Oh, yeah.
But to whip your radio out, get on the radio. I need units over here for XYZ. You still have to respond. You can't pretend, see no evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil. You have to deal with it. So it never fails. I did traffic gigs for a while, and I was like, man, fuck this. And I stopped doing traffic gigs completely because if I wasn't going to get ran over by somebody, it was somebody trying to flag me down. I'm just like, son of a bitch. But I had to deal with it. So I did my job. But it screwed me every time because companies are like, that's not what we hired you for. Yeah, I'm still a police officer. You understand that, right? So I can't go, I'm sorry. I can't help you with your felony. I got to do this side job right now. Yeah. You won't have side jobs very long after that. Your administration will chop your work permits real quick. Like, nah. So you got to have, if you're going to work EJs, you got to have an understanding with that company that, hey, I'm still a police officer. So if someone reports a crime to me, I can't just, if it's a week ago, my neighbor stole my plant. Okay, yeah, go home, call your local agency, they'll come deal with it. But if it's occurring violently right there, you have no choice. You have to deal with it now. And they get ticked. They get mad. It's like, well, what do you want me to do? This is why you hired cops, right? Yeah. But I can't work only for you because I don't work for you. I still work for whatever agency, sheriff's office, police department, state. It doesn't matter. Now, to be fair, state police don't have to work a whole lot of side jobs. They get paid pretty damn well.
Yeah. You can, you can be very well off working for a state agency for sure.
So the highest paid agency in the state is Austin Police Department. But there's some smaller municipalities up by Dallas that starting pay like 80, 90,000 starting. So I mean, it can if you're a rich enough bracket. Yeah. But Austin PD is the highest paid, largest municipal police department in Texas. They're just liberal as all fuck, and they've been nutted by their administration. Don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't get involved, kill your DWI unit. Of course, they're crashing into the fucking roof because of that, because no one's out there enforcing this crap anymore because they want to do the softer side of policing. Now, this is not the officers. This is the administration. All the Austin police officers I know would love to be able to do their job, but they've been told don't, or you may end up going to jail. So it's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm riding out to retirement, or they're leaving. They're going to other agencies that share the same kind of retirement they have, and they just go to that agency. And Florida is taking a lot of officers from other states now. Florida's like, come on over here. We'll let you be a cop here.
All the sheriff's offices,
yeah, because they let you, was it Billy Wood, I think his name is, the sheriff? Billy Broward is Billy Wood?
I don't know. I'm not.
Where's the cowboy hat? Then you got Sheriff Grady Judd. Love him.
Oh yeah.
He don't play no games at all.
Yep.
Like he encourages officers to enforce the law. I'm like, that's what I'm looking for right there. Do your job and enforce the law, and I got your back. Lie to me, then it's a different story.
There's the one that does the press conferences, like with the guy handcuffed, like with the detainee right there.
Yeah,
and he's
this idiot. It's like, yeah.
Florida's a whole nother like.
It is, but they're telling all the California cops and Colorado cops, hey, come on over here. We got you. You want to be a cop? We'll let you be a cop here, and that's all we want to be as cops. Let me enforce the law. I'm not saying let me run wild and beat up whoever I want and kill people. That's not what I'm asking for. But let me enforce the law. And don't tell me that once I've arrested the person, you're going to kill it with lax prosecution policies. Mm-hmm. So, but that's a tangent.
Yeah.
Let's get back off on the highway. So we took the rest stop. So EJs. Now, almost every department I know, you have to have permission to do them first. So one, you have to be a peace officer. So if you work in a jail and you do not have your peace officer license, you cannot be out there working part-times, and we've had a few do that.
I can either confirm or deny that some people have done that.
I'll straight up confirm it. I'm straight up going to confirm it, and they got caught. One of them got caught because he'd been working this part-time for like a year and a half. Full uniform, gun belt, the whole smash. Not a peace officer, did not have a peace officer license. The company thought he was a peace officer. They didn't even ask to see his credentials, which on your credentials say law enforcement. Or peace officer, it would say peace officer.
Yeah.
And he just stopped working there. Well, we wanted to pay him. So they brought the paycheck. He brought his last check down to the administration and said, we'd like to pay him. This is his money. What do you mean he was working for y'all? In what capacity? Like, was it a part-time job where he was working as a backhoe operator? Well, like, that's fine, whatever. No, he was, law enforcement. They're like, whoops. And that's how he got caught. So you have to be a peace officer, period. You have to be commissioned peace officer. And then you have to have usually permission from your agency because they need to know where you're going to be, what you're going to be doing, what kind of, are you in plain clothes? Are you in full uniform? Is there alcohol being served there? They need to know all this.
Yeah.
Because if you get into some shit and you didn't tell them and you're in full uniform, they're going to be like, were you on duty? Well, no, I was off duty. Did you tell us? Did you check out with dispatch? Did you tell them you're going to be working here from this time to this time? And give them your phone number so they can get a hold of you. No. Okay. Well, then you have a problem. So now, if you start out typically in jails, don't issue radios. So the majority of agencies here, once you get your piece, let's say you work in the jail. Mm-hmm. This is for our listeners. You know this, but this is because where I started and you started, same process. But most jails, it's pretty similar in Texas. They're not peace officers who get a jailer's license. They're jailers who get a peace officer license. Yeah. Unlike California, where there is no jailers. They're peace officers, period. Now, even the prison guards are peace officers. The probation guards are probation officers, parole officers. Those are all peace officers. The ones working in the jail get the jail certification, but they're all peace officers from day one.
Right.
Texas is different. You have a jailer's license, peace officer license. If you're working in a jail, you have to have a jailer's license. You don't have to have a peace officer license, but you have to have a jailer's license to work a jail. If you're going to be a law enforcement officer, then you have to have a peace officer license issued by the state of Texas, TCOL, Texas Commission on Law Enforcement.
Yep.
So you did the same thing I did, where we got hired, went to the detention academy, got our jailer's license, worked the jail, and then on our own went and got our peace officer license, which is about 11-month long process. And you get your peace officer license, then you get your commission signed by your agency. Now you are a commissioned officer with this agency. That's how it works. But you still don't know shit. You don't know a damn thing because you've not gone through field training, a patrol academy, nothing. But you think, I'm a cop now, I know what I'm doing. You have no clue what you're doing. You know the basics of the penal code. And it's the basics of the that's what it's called. Basic training. You know the basics. The whole purpose of field training is for your trainer to teach you how to apply this stuff and work and make an arrest and process an arrest and use the radio and all that and use the CAD. That's what their job is. So jailers, when the overtime is not super high, they need another way to make money. Now, when the overtime is incredibly high, they're making six figures.
Yeah.
Easy. And you got 21-year-olds making $130,000 a year working in the jail because they're working overtime 4 days a week. Actually, they're working 72 hours a week.
Yeah.
But when the overtime's not there, they need to make money. So they take their peace officer license and they work at Whataburgers or Walmarts or Targets or whoever hire them. Traffic jobs. They put lights on their car and they put magnets, police. And they do side jobs. And that's fine. That's great. Problem is, you make an arrest, you have no clue what you're doing. Happened to me.
Happened to me too.
Yeah. I made my first arrest and I was like, hell yeah, now what? So I put him in handcuffs and I'm all proud of myself. And then I'm like, well, now what do I do? Shit. I didn't have a radio because I worked in the jail at the time. I didn't have a radio. I didn't even know the number to dispatch. I had to Google it. So I called dispatch. I'm like, I made an arrest and I'm in the city. Like, who do I call? They're like, we'll try to get you a unit because it's supposed to be your agency. You're not really supposed to use another agency, right? So luckily for me, the patrolman that showed up was willing to teach me. Because he could have just said, yeah, throw him in and then throw him out and go, good luck, and drive off. And I'd be like, I have no clue what to do now. Luckily, I had my thumb drive with, this is back when we remember the old green and yellows.
Yeah.
Luckily, I had a thumb drive. I could do the report, but I didn't know how to do booking. I didn't know how to book them in. I didn't have a clue what the fuck I was doing. So luckily, he took pity on me. I guess nothing going on that night or bored or whatever the hell it was, or he was a training officer maybe, and okay, let me just show you how this works. Because I told him, I have no clue what I'm doing. Like, shut up. Talking to prisoners, shut up. I know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm sure the guy was probably like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. This was a long, long time ago. So threw him in the car. I followed him down to the jail. He walked me through the entire process, how to do the booking sheets, all this crap. Back when you had to timestamp as soon as you walked in and grab their inventory form and inventory their property and all that crap, turn them over, and then you go do the report and who you take it to. And he took pity on me. Thank you, Jesus. But I had no clue how to make an arrest. I know how to put handcuffs on somebody. But that's it.
Yeah.
And that's just the beginning of the process. There's so much more to it. So it was like,
yeah.
It's like dogs that catch their tail. Well, now what? I got it. What do I do with it? Or a dog that chases a car finally catches it. They're like, all right, I got it. And now what? That was what happened to me. And happened to you. And it's probably happened to every single detention officer who did not work for law enforcement prior to coming to detention. So I'll never forget, I was working in a restaurant, I'll leave it unnamed, and I was still in detention. I had a few years under my belt, but I was still in detention, so that's the world I do know. And I go outside to smoke a cigarette, and this girl comes up to me and goes, my ex-boyfriend's here, and I have a restraining order against him. I was like, son of a bitch. And I remembered that one real clearly. That's a mandatory arrest, period. I was like, shit. So I was like, all right, who? And she pointed them out, and the guy was sitting there staring at her. I was like, okay, well, you definitely can't say he didn't see her. That's all right. Go back in, stay inside, and don't leave, because I'm going to need to talk to you. What's his name? Real quick, what's his name? What's your name? I at least knew to do that in case she took off. Like, oh, no, get your ass back here. So I come back around, I come up next to him, and hey, sir, you need to step outside with me. He goes, what? Fuck you. I said, hey, man, don't make this harder than it has to be. Come on, man. Let's step outside and talk. He threw my arm off, and I'm like, I don't think so, motherfucker. I still come from the jail. You want to fight? Let's fight. I grab him by the wrist. He slams me into that giant plate glass window and breaks it. Because the back of the plates on my vest broke the fucking glass. So I wrap my arms around him, and the fight's fucking on. I don't have a radio. Can't call for fucking help. It's like 2 a.m. There's no one around. I'm like, son of a bitch. So we're brawling like over tables. And luckily, 2 bike patrol officers happened to ride by and looked in the window. Oh shit. And they come bailing in and they piled on top too. We get them in cuffs. And I'm like, all right, can one of y'all got a CAD? So we can look this dude up, make sure. Turns out, yes, he did have an active restraining order. She was the victim on it. So that's a mandatory arrest. I also got him for resisting arrest and assaulting me and all that crap. And I'm like, what did I do? They're like, well, you probably want to call your CID. Oh, good idea. You guys know the number? They're like, you're not my agency. Y'all want this case? So this is why it is so crucial that, yes, you got your peace officer license, but you know that you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Understand and recognize that you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Go get the knowledge. If your agency will allow you, go do write-outs with the active LE guys and learn how to process prisoners, use the radio, arrest procedures, booking procedures, dispatch procedures, all that crap. So that when this does come up, you're not sitting there with your thumb in your ass looking like an idiot, which is exactly how I looked. Not ashamed to say it now. Definitely ashamed to say it back then. That's the whole purpose of field training. 4 months of field training where you learn how this crap works and who to talk to and who to call and how to book somebody, and you have a radio. You don't realize what kind of danger you're putting yourself in when you don't have a radio on you. Because
Yeah.
you're trying to fight somebody and get your phone out and call 911 instead of just hitting the toner on your radio and fight's on. They can hear the fight and they already know where you're at because you already checked out with dispatch and told them where you were at. So they know where you're at. So like the old saying goes, you might know where you're at, God might know where you're at, but if dispatch doesn't know where you're at, you're going to meet God.
Yeah.
It's true. It's the truest things I ever heard. So EJs, they can be lucrative. I've known officers who make an extra $6, $7, $8 a month working part-times. They're exhausted, but they have extra 90 G's a year working part-times, although they get murdered on taxes.
Yeah. I guess that's the downside.
It is. You
Taxes.
get slaughtered because you put yourself way over that next bracket. So all of a sudden they're like, oh, you owe us like 12 grand. You're like, oh shit, I spent all that money. It's kind of like when the rookies start at the jail and I warn them, hey, the overtime's good right now. And they all run out and go buy Raptors and Scat Packs. And I'm like, you're not going to be able to afford that $1,300 payment when this overtime stops. And you're going to get repoed. And sure as shit, at least once a week, I see a repo truck. I'm like, well, you were warned.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so now they're smart. The academy, they actually teach financial responsibility.
Yeah.
Like, hey, don't do that because it will not last forever. But you have guys now not even willing to leave the jail to go to patrol because the overtime is so good and the money's so good. I'm like, Christ, everyone I worked with when I worked at the jail would have given them left arm to get out of that building. Now they're like, no, I'm good. You're working 72 hours a week. You're exhausted. Yeah, but I'm good. But they're also 21 years old, living with their parents still, no bills, no debt, and they're making six figures.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see it.
Yeah.
But don't be foolish and go buy a Scat Pack or a Demon or a Raptor. That's a $1,300 a month payment that you can't afford when this stops. You're hosed because that's going to be half your paycheck right there. So EJs are a great way to make money. And you meet people. You meet people in certain EJs, people that can help you down the road later. You make contacts, you make friends, but you need to know what the hell you're doing.
I think my first arrest on the side job. Well, first of all, like to all the newer officers that could be watching this, stay away from HEBs, stay away from Whataburgers, and stay away from Walmart.
Oh, absolutely, stay away.
Stay away from those three. Trust me, they won't pay you a lot of money. Well, maybe not so much HEB because they got the fake Navy SEAL security.
Yeah, those guys cracking canines and fucking guns with extended mags. I'm like,
they
all right, Hondo.
Yeah, but like Walmart, I think they've increased their pay.
I think it's $65 an hour. So it's pretty good.
Pretty
and then
good.
like Black Friday or stuff like that, they'll pay you $100+ an hour
Oh,
for
yeah.
12 hours. I did it once. I made $1,300 and I never do it again.
Yeah, if you really know what you're doing, you're definitely going to get into something there because it's just inevitable. All the weird things happen at the grocery store. Like I remember
Weird as
getting
shit.
Class A misdemeanor warrant for like somebody who shoplifted $7 sandwich.
Petty theft, yeah.
Yeah, like something was real ridiculous. And I remember,
And you'll fight at Walmart. You will end up fighting people at Walmart.
oh yeah,
When they like, that guy just stole, and as soon as they pass the final point of sale, hey, sir, oh, son of a bitch, fights, run, and then you catch them and they're heroin junkie, and you're fighting with this nasty heroin junkie, and you're like, oh my God, this was dumb.
it's I remember calling to have like a unit come by, and the sergeant was pretty upset because, of course, they had to leave a square. But if the sergeant was upset, he didn't make it seem that way because he called me and he called me and he like, hey, ever thought about working overtime in the jail? And I'm just like, man, this guy. Like,
But there's the plus side of that.
Yeah.
So if you work overtime at the jail, that goes into your retirement.
yeah, and
That's the plus.
That's the plus.
So your side job, that doesn't go into your retirement. But
Nope.
any money you accrue working through your agency builds up your retirement.
Yep.
So I know guys who worked overtime their entire career and they retired at 20 with a 30-year retirement because
Yep.
they built up their retirement
Yep.
that much. So
Yep.
yeah, you can do it, but there's a plus and a minus to that.
Yeah.
So I know a guy who I worked with for years, and he was probably knocking down $9 to $10 a month in part-times. I mean, seriously insane.
Yeah.
I said, hey man, what's your plan when you retire here? Because you're coming up in retirement. Like, that's gone.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So how are you planning on making more money? He's like, I won't need it. My retirement's boosted. I've saved all this money. The house is paid for. Okay. He has a plan.
Yeah.
He's not just, oh shit, what do I do? Now there are rules, and a lot of people don't realize the rules. So if you are a full-time active officer, you can work any part-time.
Yeah.
Security gigs, traffic gigs, whatever. If you're a reservist, you are limited to traffic gigs.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that. Because the security licensing of the state complained that these reserve officers are only getting their reserve commission just to work security gigs, and that's their job. So you can work traffic gigs.
Mm-hmm.
So you can work any gig as an active officer. Reserve, you can only work traffic.
Right.
That's it. You can do traffic gigs. You can't work Whataburgers, Walmarts, rodeos, nothing of that. Nope, that's not. Sorry, you're a reserve officer. So there are rules to it. And people think they're funny, and they try to get around the rules. They get caught. So if you're caught by TCOL, you can lose your reserve license. Or if you're caught by that agency that's holding your commission, they could can you because you're reserve, which means you have no protection. None. You're not paid, and you have no unit protection. Yeah, sorry. You're fired.
Yeah.
Have a nice day. So there's pluses and minuses to EJs. You make a little extra cheddar. But the problem is they always tell you, and they told me this from the start, and they told you the same thing when you were at the academy, act like that money's not going to be there. Do not count on that money to live.
Oh, yeah, because they'll cancel the contract quick.
They can cancel the contract. Your agency could stop part-times. Your agency could say, we're not doing part-times anymore. You're banned. They can revoke all your work permits, or you get in trouble and they revoke your work permit. And if you get caught working without a work permit, and it never fails, when they cancel your work permit, that's when you're going to get in the use of force that you can't hide. You have to report it. And then they're going to be like, wait a minute, did you have an active work permit? No, it was canceled. Uh-oh. So yeah, the arrest was good. The arrest and use of force was good and all that, but you are a major policy violation because you weren't allowed to be working a part-time. So, and we've had guys get themselves in trouble on part-times.
Yeah.
They either don't get the work permit, just don't bother, thinking, ain't nothing going to happen here. This place is chill. And then invariably it happens. And oh shit, they're going to find out about this.
And the worst, you're lucky, the worst that happens is they don't hold your commission no more, which sucks.
So yeah, if you work in the jail, they can just revoke your peace officer license. They can just kill your law enforcement commission. They ain't going to kill your jailer's license. They need you to work in the jail. But they can kill your peace officer license. They can decommission it to where, you have a license, but they're not holding it.
Yep.
And you cannot have another agency hold your peace officer license at the same time.
You got to leave altogether.
You have to leave altogether.
If you let it lapse, then you got to redo the academy all over again.
So yeah, 2 years. Or you got to redo the entire police academy all over again. So we've had officers that I've known that had their commission pulled and they just quit. They just straight up quit because they're like, no, I need that. I need my part-time pay. Well, you didn't do it right. We have a policy for a reason that covers this. It's not hard to get a work permit. Now, we can't work bars. Most agencies won't let you work a bar because they know the odds are very high of getting to a shooting or a fight because it's a bar.
I can only imagine what that would even be like.
We used to
imagine working like a
like cowboy. Can you imagine a Cowboys dance hall?
Like Speedway?
Oh hell and no, hell and no. Because you get your drunk said, I can fight. I'm gonna fight that cop right now, and you're like, dude, come on, man, stop, dude.
You end up like suplexing somebody on a pool table.
Yeah, like, oh man, you get your own head cracked open by a cue stick. It's like, oh man, I ain't doing that crap. So it's very rare you're allowed to work any alcohol event because it's just the odds. Yeah, and I don't even want to. I've been offered to pay to work quinceañeras. They pay really well for a quinceañera, and they feed the shit out of you too. If anyone's been to a quinceañera, the food is amazing.
I've been to one,
and they'll feed you.
They'll
feed your ass off, and they'll pay you $600-700 to stand there. Yep. They already paid $10,000 for her dress.
Yep.
What's another $700 for an officer to stand there? Weddings, they'll feed you. They'll feed your ass off, but someone's gonna get drunk, and someone's gonna want to fight. So it's like, yeah, you can work those, but it's like, no, I'm good.
The only reason I'll work like weddings or what have you is because I'm just going to snitch on you to the person who. Like, to the family. Yeah. You want to be that one guy that ruins it for everybody?
Yeah. Go to abuela.
Oh, yeah.
Go to grandma. Hey, you might want to talk to your boy.
Like,
mijo.
I can be a pig, a hoe. I can be all that. Let me go get your uncle.
Yep.
Hey, him.
Yep.
And I'm going to still be in the corner making my little $300 or how much ever it costs. Not even lifting a finger.
And they'll feed you so good.
Oh, yeah.
So a little tangent, but being about feeding, when I was a patrolman, deep south, you got those wide open properties, massive ranch properties. So 10, 20, 30, 40 acres, 50 acres, right? And we got noise complaint for a huge Mexican party. I'm like, all right, fine. Well, I know that you talk to abuela.
Mm-hmm.
You go right to abuela, and you better be polite because the family don't care if you're a cop. You disrespect grandma, you're going to be fighting the entire family, and they don't give a shit that you're a cop.
Yeah.
So I pull in, and I just turn on my overheads so they see me, but I'm not turning them on. I just have them I can't remember the setting, but he just turns them on, but doesn't flash them. It just
Like
turns
the
them on.
cruise lights.
Cruise lights, thank you. You just cruise, they can see you, but you're not, freaking everybody out with the lights going. Just cruise lights, you see me, and I'm here. Plus, you can find my towel if I get beat to shit. My partners can find my car. So I walked in the party. How y'all doing? How's it going? And I'm getting stared at. I'm like, oh, God. And it was a little tense at first, and I found Grandma. Very sweet lady. And I just told her, party's great. Ladies, you're beautiful. The food smells amazing. But do me a favor, can you just turn the music down just a little bit? The neighbors are complaining, and sound carries at night. Can you just turn it down just a little bit for me, and we'll be good? She goes, oh, absolutely, turn it down. Hey, get him a plate. You want to eat, mijo? And like, I had like this massive plate full of fajitas, and I'm like, all South Patrol. I said, do you mind if other officers come by? I'll send them over. So I had all of South Patrol come by. Fajitas and enchiladas and tamales, and oh my God, I never ate so good in my life, because that was that true authentic Mexican food. And oh my God, I paid for it with the heartburn later. Worth it. I had a plate of fajitas, another plate of enchiladas, another plate of tamales, and I'm like trying to walk to and I'm eating on the hood of my Tahoe, like whatever.
See, that's good community policing right there.
I didn't walk in, hey, shut this fucking music off. What's your fucking, you do that, and certain ethnicities, you're gonna have a problem.
Yep.
And if you disrespect an elder in that family, you're going to have a huge problem.
And that's just social dynamics.
And that's social dynamics. Like,
social
you don't got to talk to people like that.
It's not racism. It's not prejudice.
No, that's just a social dynamic.
It is literally cultural.
Grandma is more important to them than your badge.
Yep. Sometimes you got to deal with cultural dynamics. Like, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I knew that in a Hispanic family, I need to talk to grandma or grandpa, and I need to be polite.
Yep.
And if grandma says turn it down, that's it. It gets turned down. That's the end of it. They're not going to argue with grandma. But it's how I phrased it.
Yeah.
I'm not going demanding a damn thing. I compliment her, compliment the party, compliment the food. So I personally don't care. It's not affecting me, but the neighbors are complaining, and I don't have to come back. Come on, guys, enjoy your party. You don't need me here. And she turned it down. Whoop, down it went. Mm-hmm. And everybody was waiting, too, for grandma's signal. Like, if I'd have said something disrespectful, I'd probably gotten jumped. So when they realized that we were all cool and they had get them food, that's it. Everybody was cool as hell. Hey, how you doing tonight, sir?
And that translates into like wedding parties and quince and stuff like
Same
that.
thing.
They don't. Yeah, you're there as a necessity because of either the alcohol content or the amount of people that's going to be present
or both.
at the venue, or both.
Or both.
They don't need some overbearing asshole
No.
going in there ruining the party for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, man, just go snitch. Hey, this dude or this chick over here is doing X, Y, Z.
And they will take care of it.
They definitely will. And I'm going to still get a plate, a cake, and a drink.
Yep. They're going to feed you good.
Good food, you know what I'm saying?
And beautiful women.
Well,
you're at a wedding, beautiful women. We talked about badge bunnies. I'm not saying do anything about it.
Talking about the drunk bridesmaid?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going in the car. I'm chilling. Like, I'll need... I'm
not going to approach them. I'm not going to talk to them, but they're fun to look at. See how they wave. Hey, how you doing? But I'm not going to go approach them. But hey, I'm enjoying the view.
Because you will hear the jokes.
Oh, yeah.
You'll hear them in passing when the alcohol has lowered the inhibitions. Oh, you'll hear it.
You get the jokes. You get the stupid comments. You get, hey, officer, handcuff me. And like, or you get the same joke you always hear. He's right here. I'm like, I've only heard that 4 times a day. Ha, ha, ha,
and then you'll also get like, I don't know why, it's also in every crowd, like the pseudo aggressive guy that's just upset that you're there.
Yeah,
but he wants attention to himself, so you can notice him. It's so weird.
He'll do what he can to get you to pay attention to him without being like really stupid about it, hoping that you'll engage, and then it gives him the open door to fire back.
Yeah.
So he stays in your line of sight, and he does dumb shit and says shit, so he knows you hear him. And then you just got to ignore him and he gets pissed.
I'm going to tell you how you always notice him. You have a blazer with a regular, just button up, some Nike SB Dunks, and a fucked up fade. That's the individual that you want to stay away from. At every wedding party, engagement, or whatever, he has a bullshit pinky ring. I'm telling you, that's the guy. That's the guy.
Yep, and he probably drives a fucking Fleetwood Cadillac out front. Whoever his kids are got siblings they don't know about.
There's a spur tattoo somewhere.
There's a spur tattoo somewhere. You are 100% right. It's almost like you've done this. I worked one wedding and I never worked another. I was like, nope, I'm good. And it was a rowdy one. They paid me $5 straight up cash at the end of the night. It was cash. I was like, hell yeah. And I regretted it about halfway through the night. Like, when's this party going to be over? And
You'll know you're working a bad part-time when all you can think about is just the end.
getting the fuck out
And
before some shit goes south.
Yep.
Because anybody who's worked in a jail or worked in any kind of, you can smell it in the air. Something's going to go bad tonight. You can feel it. Like, this is not a happy crowd. This is a crowd that wants to fight. And you're just like, son of a bitch. You know, and you're like, I should have said no to this, you know, but I saw the dollar signs and thought, why the hell not? These days, I have one part-time. I don't have no damn problems with it. It's very easy money, and I work it once every other week for about 3.5 hours. I'm good. That's it.
And that's what you
That's
want.
it.
That's exactly what you want.
I get invited to do other ones that make more money, but I already know I'm going to work, and I'm going to work hard. And I don't want to work hard on my part-times. I really don't.
I have a buddy. He loves working the Walmart
Ugh.
because he gets to chase people. He gets to put his hands on people. I'm just like,
No, I've done that. Been there, done it. I'm good.
It's
And
like-
when you're fighting some heroin junkie over $5 of merchandise, and you end up getting stuck, or they pull a gun on you, that ain't the first time that's happened. They've had knives and guns pulled on officers working Walmarts.
yep.
Walmarts contribute a lot to the crime rate in a community. They really do. People
Yeah.
don't believe that, but they sure as hell do. And they did a dollar amount, and it was an astronomically high number that if you put a dollar amount to a call for service and man hours and manpower, probably $1 billion just from
yeah.
Walmarts.
Yeah.
Because for some reason, all the trash goes to Walmart. And they all get in trouble there, and they steal from there. And you're like, really? So the LPOs, the loss prevention officers, come find you. Hey, we're tracking this dude. He's stealing a bunch of crap. And you're like,
And if you're in the predicament where you work in a smaller municipality, but your part time is another agency's jurisdiction,
oh, it's
sometimes that causes friction with that agency.
Yeah,
Because you're
sometimes.
calling them for stuff that they deem
Transport.
is not worth it. Transport,
And they're like,
they can't
really?
spare a person because there's
They
15
can't-
calls deep.
Yep.
So it's like,
File large. If you can file large, file large. All right, get the hell out of here. So, and most agencies have a rule that you got to wear your full uniform when you're working in your county. And if you work in another county, you got to be in a professional part-time uniform. You know, look presentable, you know, nice clean khakis, a nice polo, clearly identified by your agency, and your gun belt, as you
Yeah.
are still identifiable as a peace officer.
yeah,
And I've seen that where they come up from the border and work up in this county or the next county up, and they look like shit. I'm just like, holy shit, dude. And there was one I found that his commission had been revoked because the lieutenant, I was in traffic at the time, and the lieutenant drove by the dude, took one look at him, and called me and said, go check his commission. Okay. So I drove over there. I said, hey, man, how you doing? Hey, like, I'm so-and-so, and look, man, you have an active peace officer license? And he's like, it's revoked right now. I was like, so you're working a part-time, carrying a firearm, wearing your agency's badge, and your peace officer license is revoked right now?
that's
You need to
impersonation.
leave now. You need to get in your car and you need to leave now. And I made him leave. And I said, trust me, you do not want my lieutenant calling your boss. Because he asked me to come over and talk to you. Trust me, you do not want me getting your information. So you need to go. He's like, you need to go. And so he drove off. And he wasn't from anywhere near this county. Nowhere near this county. I was like, ooh.
That's strange. Like, hey, just not for nothing. You work in a smaller county, but you come into the big counties to like play.
Yeah, because the money's easier. I mean, the bigger money up here. You work them traffic gigs. It's 8 hours at $50 an hour. You make $400 in a night, and you go home.
That's true.
So you make good money. There's more opportunities up here. The larger the county, the more opportunities you have. Because smaller counties, you might just have one Walmart, one Whataburger. If you're in a county like ours, or Harris, or Travis, or Dallas, or Fort Worth, where there's 50 Whataburgers and 50 Walmarts and 50 HEBs, there's more opportunities. So yeah, some of those counties don't have a whole lot of opportunities for EJs. Great, I get it. But if you know damn well your peace officer license has been suspended or revoked and you're still working part-time, you're a fucking idiot. Because you have no law enforcement authority right now at all. You have no powers of arrest and you have no law enforcement authority, but yet you're wearing a badge and carrying a gun belt and with police across your back. You are opening yourself up to and your agency won't pay a nickel because they've already suspended your license. So that entire lawsuit's going to be on you. And that shooting will be handled not like an officer-involved shooting, but like a citizen shooting.
Yep.
Now, we like to think they're the same. They're not handled the same. They're not handled the same.
Yeah.
But you open yourself up to that liability where they're not going to handle it like an officer-involved shooting. They're going to handle it like a civilian-involved shooting.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to be like, so your license is revoked, so you're impersonating a peace officer. Because you don't currently hold a commission. Oops.
Oh, big oops.
Oops. Giant oops. Now you're looking at the criminal now and definitely going to get sued. That's just a given. You're going to be sued.
Yeah.
So while EJs are great, you make money. You make connections. You meet people.
Yeah.
You absolutely can. You do the right ones. Like if you start getting the rich parties, the rich quinceañeras, the rich weddings, you'll meet people and you'll make connections.
I've met a comedian.
Yeah.
At a side job. I won't say his name. Took a photo with him.
Yeah.
And he's like, probably like one of my more like favorite comedians like of all time. Very down to earth. I probably scared the crap out of him because as soon as I saw him, I was just like, "Hey man, ain't no way that's him." And I just eyeballing him, and he even like looked nervous. I'm like, "Hey, are you such and such?" And he pulls, I don't know what, man. Want to take a picture and all kinds of stuff. I'm like, "Oh, I like this. It's pretty cool."
Yeah, so I worked one where he's a very famous comedian, and turned out to be a giant asshole. Not saying his name at all. Turned out to be a douche, and I loved this guy. I've loved his movies and his comedy shows, and I was pissed. He had such a nasty attitude on him, such a fucking prick. I was like, man, fuck this dude. I'm gonna let you get beat to shit in the street by somebody. And then his head of security, that dude looked like he straight up just got out of the penitentiary a week ago. And I know he was carrying, and I was like, I could address this. He's probably a felon in possession. Nope.
Ain't worth it.
Fuck this. Ain't worth it. By the end of that night, I completely changed me on that dude. And I was like, wow, this guy is a fucking prick. Like, hey, you just never know. Because I've met other celebrities that are cool as hell.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they talk to you. Hey, man, how's it going? You know, they don't act like assholes. They don't act like pricks. And then you meet one that, you know, everybody seems to like because they're on TV. They're friendly and personable. You meet in person, they're just a fucking asshole. And you're like, all right, cool. Fuck you then, dude. I met George Strait. Super nice guy. Genuinely super nice guy, down to earth. Couldn't have been politer.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat there and shot the breeze with him for a while, and he talks to you just like a person. Like, he doesn't put on airs. He doesn't, I'm the king of country. Not at all. He's like just super nice guy. Wife, super nice lady.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't have been nicer.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a genuine pleasure to meet him, which just made me a bigger fan. I already liked him because he's George Strait. But he just made me an even bigger fan because he was just so damn nice and just so personable. And you could tell it wasn't an act. He really is just a nice guy, you know, and so that made me a fan.
There you go.
But I've met others that were just like, yeah, you really are a fucking prick. All right. But then you met ones that you heard the rumors that they're assholes or hard to work, and you meet them and they're super nice.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay, those dude's actually really cool. Like, now I'm a fan. Because to me, it's like Keanu Reeves. I've never met the dude, but his reputation is that he's a super nice person, like gives money to charity and gives up a seat for, you know, little ladies on the subway and genuinely just a nice person. That makes me a bigger fan.
Yeah.
You know, I like that because he's a human being and he doesn't act like a stuck up, you know, rock star or movie star. He's a genuine person. That made me a bigger fan of him because I wasn't a giant fan of Keanu Reeves in the 90s. Mm-hmm. You know, it was until he started doing later stuff that, okay, I kind of like this guy. And then not meeting him, but hearing his reputation made me a fan because he's a genuine person. He's not a prick. You know, so just because you're a rock star or you're a movie star doesn't mean you got to be a prick to people. Yeah. But some of them are. And this one disappointed the shit out of me. I couldn't believe it. I was like, really? Wow.
And also you can get in trouble working some of these, you know, part-times where it's like high profile. And I'm pretty sure there's very limited access to them. Usually that's the same officer working that same part-time because however they got the contact, the individual that gave it to him is going to keep using them because why would you bring an unknown?
Yeah, they know him.
Like
they built a relationship with him. Yeah. They know he's responsible. Will do the job. You know,
and that's starstruck.
You can get yourself in hot water.
You sure can. Because if you think their word don't got no clout, you're sadly mistaken.
They probably know somebody.
They might as well.
You weren't the only one they knew in your agency.
They might as well be a chief with a complimentary uniform somewhere in their closet.
Yep. Because they'll call your chief or your sheriff direct and go, "Hey, he did X, Y, Z," and your sheriff's like, "He did what?" Yeah, your work permit just got revoked.
Sitting there looking like some goober eating shrimp cocktails out of a martini glass. You know, just ham and cheesing it up. Just being a bad representation
of your agency. Because you still represent your agency, even on a part-time. You represent the agency that has commissioned you. So people don't understand you're on a part-time. They just see you're in uniform and that's it.
Yep.
So you can't say, I'm acting the fool, but I'm not on the clock right now in my agency. They don't care. That's not what they see. You're in uniform. That's what they see. Bam. It doesn't matter why you're there. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You're wearing that uniform and that's all they see.
Yep.
So they're over in the corner filming you
just all day,
all day, filming you. Or they walk up, or you get auditors when you're trying to work a part-time. And the auditors walk up, what's your name? What's your badge? You're like, come on, man.
What are you doing in this jurisdiction?
I'm just watching the clock, dude. Like,
you have no lawful authority here.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God. So, but you have to pretend that your sheriff or your chief is standing right there. Mm-hmm. And you have to address it the same way because your policy doesn't distinguish between on duty and off duty.
Nope.
You're in uniform. That's it. And you will give them your name and your badge as they are requesting, whether you like it or not. You can't say, well, off duty jobs, you don't have to. No, yes, you do. And they're looking right at your uniform. And they still, I want your name and your badge. And you're just like,
okay. Well, see, that's a trap.
It is. That's a trap. They're hoping they'll say,
right here.
Can't you read? Oh, it's can't read?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So just say, it's so-and-so, badge number, whatever. And why are you here? Hey, man, I'm trying to make a living. What are you doing? Come on, dude. Really? And they'll start, you're sheriff, you're chief, this happened the other day. What do you think about, George Floyd? What do you think about? I'm like, oh my God, dude, stop. I don't care, man. I'm trying to just ignore you. Ignore me, please. So I had that happen to me at a Walmart, but I just went to the loss prevention office at the door.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Click, and I just put my boot
Go
up.
to an authorized place.
Authorized personnel only. That's security and law enforcement. That's it. And I just went there and locked the door. And he stood out there because I could watch on the cameras. He just stood there for a while, and they started knocking. I told the LPO, don't open that door. Just don't open that door. And then eventually he got frustrated. He kicked the door and walked off into the parking lot. And I waited till he got into a car and left. Then I came back out. I was like, man, fuck this, dude. I got shit to do, dude. And you're just trying to rile me up. And I just don't have the energy for it. So you run into shit in EJs. I've had uses of force on EJs. I've had fights. I've had felony arrests.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, Jesus, I'm not supposed to be working this damn hard. Now, if you get a good, like Whataburger, I'll give them this. If you make an arrest at a Whataburger, they'll pay you, even while you're gone.
Yeah. Because
it incurred while you're working for them. So you'll get more pay. Let's say you're only supposed to work a 5-hour shift. You end up working a 12 because you made a major felony arrest and all that. They'll pay you. You just have to call in at the end and say, hey, I'm off now. I just got off. And they'll pay you all the way through. So they will do it because you made an arrest there.
Right.
So you're covered there. Some are better about it than others. Others bitch. Yeah. I was like, well, no, dude. I made the arrest on your property on a part-time. So you owe me that money. I was working and you owe me that money. But if they make a deal about it, there ain't really shit you can do about it.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what? Fuck you then. But you just don't work for them again. You put it out to everyone else. Hey, don't work for these motherfuckers. The word gets out and they'll stop. They'll back off. Mm-hmm. They're like, no, you got to pay it, dude. Sorry. You can take them to labor board, but for what? $200 extra bucks? Fuck, it would cost you more than that to file with the labor board. So
yeah.
EJs are a great way to make money, but you got to be smart about your EJs. Yeah. Do your research. Ask questions. Hey, do you cover this? Do you cover this? Do you cover this? If this happens, da-da-da.
Yeah.
And they have to have the understanding. Let's say you are an officer you're an on-call officer because you're a detective, or you're traffic homicide, or you're SWAT, or you're whatever would require you to be called in on your off time. They have to understand that has to take priority because without that job, you couldn't work this job.
Yeah, for sure.
So you gotta tell them up front, guys, if you're not doing this, if you're SWAT, traffic homicide, whatever, has a call-out position, you need to make whoever runs that EJ real clear. Look, if they call me, I got to go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That takes priority, and I have to leave. Most of them are pretty understanding about it because they get that. But then others are like, well, no, you're supposed to be here from this time to this time. I got a SWAT call out, dude. Sorry.
And maybe that is something they've been burnt before by some officers just looking to take advantage, saying that, I have to go. So they are supposed to be there for like, an 8-hour shift. And then that place is kind of cool with letting them, okay, well, since you got to go do your job, we'll just pay you for the extra 4, only even though you only worked 4. And they probably been burnt before. So I don't know. It's probably a little give and take there. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's probably a little give and take there, but
it's always a give and take. But yeah. There has to be the understanding that I can't do this job if I can't do that job.
Yep.
So understand that something's got to take priority and it ain't going to be you.
No, yeah.
Sorry about your luck.
Very true.
So, yeah. So there's nothing wrong with EJs, but one, don't let it consume you to where that's all you do is you get off your regular job and then work EJs getting maybe 2 hours of sleep a night.
Yeah.
Don't base your entire income around that part-time income because it can stop. Your agency could decide to stop all work permits or that particular work permit or whatever, and they can kill it, and then you're screwed. And yeah, you bought this house because you used that income to qualify for it, but now you can't make the $3,000 a month mortgage payment because you lost your EJ.
Yeah.
and then they're not having any overtime at the jail or on patrol right now, and so you're like, oh fuck, you actually have to get a regular part-time job, and so I caution you, if you want to work EJs,
Yeah.
but 1, have some temperance to it. 2, make sure you review your policy. 3, know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah.
And 4, bear in mind you cannot count on that income because that can stop at any time. And so if you based your mortgage payment and your car payments off of EJs, you are setting yourself up for failure.
And disclaimer, the companies that we named is not like saying, well, this is indefinitely, indubitably going to happen. The events that we talked about are going to happen at said company. This is just based off of experiences.
Our personal experiences.
Our personal experiences
This
from
can
other
happen
brothers, sister officers
anywhere
that work these companies. So this is no shade, no libel or anything that, trust me, you ain't get no money from us. I'm broke. I don't know about T-Bone, but J-Man's broke. We're not trying to libel any company
T-Bone's
here.
broke too. Y'all need to start giving us money. Help us out.
I'm just saying that it's just like there is a higher propensity for incidents and disturbances to occur at these locations, and just mass amount of people, all different walks of life.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
They join at one place and things happen.
Any food joint that is in proximity to bars about 2 a.m., the drunks are all coming out of the bars, and they're all like zombies towards the food.
Yep.
And you're going to deal with drunks. So if you don't have the patience of dealing with drunks, you might not want to work that schedule because you're going to deal with them. And they're going to be the 2 guys that were fighting in the club. They just ran to each other there, and then you're trying to peel them apart. Someone's breaking a beer bottle over your head. So if you don't have the patience for it, don't. I used to love it because I was young and I wanted to get the arrest and I wanted to get the experience. Now I'm old enough now going, I'm going to stand here and let you 2 fight because you'll be too damn tired to fight me when it's done. So I'm going to let you fight because the average person can't fight more than a minute or 2 for they're gassed out. So just sit there and watch. It's mutual combat. They're fighting each other. So that's a class C at the most. So just let them fight. All right, they're done. You 2 done? All right. Mutual combat. You 2 want to press charges on each other, or do you want to call tonight and not spend the night in the drunk tank? Gone. That's right. Don't drive. And you work smarter. I could have ran up there, peeled them apart, end up fighting them. Now they unite against me. And I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Or I could just let them fight until they're. You guys done? I'm fresh as a daisy. I'm good. I just got my baton down behind my leg. You guys done? All right, guys, and close it up without them noticing. All right, well, have a good night. And they never even saw the baton.
Yep.
So that's all we got to say on EJs. Just choose your EJs wisely. Don't just because it's good money, just jump at it and go, that's the one. They could be paying a lot of money for a very good reason.
Yeah.
And so bear that in mind. They're paying like $75 an hour. You're probably going to earn it. And you're going to wish to God you hadn't done it.
Oh, yeah.
So kind of balance that and balance your life. Don't make your work and then your EJs your entire life where you have no time for anything else to where you have to work that to maintain the cost of living. Because you're living the way you live, your living arrangement, because you'll fail.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
J-Man, you got anything to add?
No. That's
all right. Well,
that about covers it.
Guys, please tell your friends and family about us. Pass the word. Share the links on Facebook and Instagram and text them to each other. You can go on Instagram or you can go on Apple Podcasts or whatever, Google Play, whatever you use. I don't know what it's called. Google's is called, but we're on so many of them. And send the links. Let people get a listen. And, if you think someone might enjoy it, send it. And then leave comments on the YouTube channel. Leave comments. Absolutely leave comments. And if you want to email us, it's running code. That's RUNNINCODE 2023 at gmail.com. So running without the G, running code 2023 at gmail.com. Yeah. Send us an email if you have a question. Leave a comment on YouTube, like I said earlier, and I'll say every time. If it's racist, it's going to be deleted. We don't want to hear it. If it's going to be bashing LGBTQ, don't want to hear it. Don't care. If it's going to be bashing, if it's going to be politics, that's not what we're here for. We don't care. But if you have a serious question or you have a serious gripe, you don't agree with something we said, feel free. And we'll read it on the air and we'll give you an answer. And it may not be the answer you want to hear. It may not be the answer you like, but we will give you an answer. Yeah. The truth will set you free, but no one ever said it'd make you happy. So, brothers and sisters, watch your backs. Bear in mind what we talk about. This is learned through hard experience. We're not making any of this up. We've lived it. We've dealt with it. And you can learn the lessons from other officers that have been through it. And if you're smart to listen to them, you can save yourself some heartache down the road. So from J-Man and I here in South Texas, our running code, we wish y'all to have a great week. Be safe, watch each other's backs. And I got nothing else. You good?
Nope, we're all good.
All right. We're out of here.